I get asked almost every day why I came out of retirement for this job, and I will tell you this is one of those days where I ask myself the same thing. It has been quite an experience and an opportunity to fulfill this role on behalf of the City of Portland and the Portland Police Bureau, and representing the brave men and women of the Portland Police Bureau who are once again stretched so thin today as we try to manage overall safety and security for all the Portlanders. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have met with the Secretary today. Appreciate having lines of communication. The meeting also included several federal law enforcement officers as well. And I believe that communication is the first step to resolving our differences. That without communication, we can't learn on ways to move from our protect state to a level of expansion and maybe evolving into a new way of thinking, a new way of believing. And so I will always accept those opportunities regardless of our opinions or backgrounds or beliefs. So I want to thank the Secretary for that time today. We anticipate there may be some more public order events throughout the course of the day. I've been told that we've made one arrest today down near South Waterfront of somebody that was causing a disturbance. I don't know that it was directly related to the South Waterfront event or if it was separate from, but I do know we made one arrest in the area. And I also want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the numerous other agencies that are supporting us today. We have a number of outside agencies that are supporting us from the Tri-County area. And it's not only important to thank them, but I'm also important to recognize what that represents. And that represents a regional response towards public safety that I'm very proud of. We've been working on that for the last couple of years, and to have numerous chiefs and sheriffs reach out and say, hey, how can we help? Should give great encouragement to not just Portlanders, but really to the region as a whole as we work together to really provide an environment of safety and security. So with that, I will try to answer a few questions.
Just curious about what the tone of that meeting was today. I know that it's been much anticipated, especially since you kind of last minute decided to show up. So how did that go? What are the steps moving forward? What was the tone of the meeting?
Yeah, I would say that, there's clearly some differences of opinion. If anybody's been paying attention to the national conversation, I wouldn't say that we're all in alignment and agreement on every point. But I can say that, we continue to be professionals, and we continue to strive for a shared value of safety. The Secretary obviously and understandably is very concerned for the safety of her employees, her officers, as well as, the building itself and the ability for it to function. So we really try to look for ways and solutions that might allow us to reduce some of the conflict and the dissidents down there in a way that's, primarily for the safety of all.
So those conversations with her, both of you were at the ICE facility, and what did she see? Because obviously she may have seen videos. What did she see when she was there? Did she address any of that to you?
No, you'd have to ask her specifically what she saw. I mean, we have the area right now, as we would do traditionally for any dignitary visit. We have the area cordoned off. So there are people, I've been down there a couple times now. There are some people on Macadam and some of the other side streets, but in regards to what, she's actually has seen or been made aware of, I'm not sure.
Other outlets and conservative influencers mentioned you looked defeated after the meeting. What's your response to that?
I'm 57 years old and I haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately. If people want to suggest that I look defeated, then that's certainly a perception, but the reality is there's a great deal of responsibility that comes with this position. And I do not feel defeated. I'm actually encouraged by the continued opportunity we have as a city to step forward and create a different narrative. And I don't say that lightly because it's not easy. It's not something to throw around. This really needs to be a holistic approach. From the governor, to the mayor, to the county, to the council, to our community, to the police bureau, to regional partners. This really is our time to stand together. And to do that, we're going to have to give a little bit. We're going to have to give a little bit. This attitude of certainty that this binary conversation will not move us forward. The only way that's going to happen is when each of us focus on that shared value of safety and then look for ways to try and find a way to meet in some particular context to make that successful.
One quick clarifying thing, and then my main question. Mike had said that, obviously, you had an initial meeting with the secretary, with OSP superintendent, and Homeland County Sheriff, but you had or are having a meeting with Mayor Wilson and the secretary?
Mayor Wilson and I just left the secretary like 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the main question is, you know, one of the partners in that meeting was Federal Protective Service, and you have repeatedly communicated with them, especially since these protests began. And you have conveyed that the Bureau has been able to handle the incidents that are happening at the facility. And again, I wasn't in the building, but the people who were with the secretary, you know, she is saying that I'm going to get you more help, referring to her, to the federal law enforcement there. You know, where is the dissonance there that you feel that they feel like they need more help, that you feel, you know, you're able to handle what's happening?
Yeah, so I look at it really from a more holistic point of view, going all the way back to when we first started having disturbances there. And there's no doubt that, particularly in the month of June, significant amount of damage committed against the building, and a variety of assaults were committed, and the Portland Police Bureau was engaged, and we made a number of arrests. Over the past few months, there's been a significant decrease in that violent activity, which we have focused on. To say that there has been no crime would not be accurate. There are always, you know, potential for different types of crime. Ours is focused on violence and vandalism. As I explained to the secretary today, you know, we're managing an entire city here, and so we prioritize to the best of our ability the resources we have to meet those demands. And frankly, we need more. We need more. And not only do we need more police officers, but we need other areas to support to deal with crime. I think the dissidence is that, you know, certainly over the last 10 days, the energy level has gone up. The amount of conflicting points of view have increased greatly. And this has created an environment that's equally, if not more challenging for us because of the dynamics in the crowd, not just intent against, you know, what was originally the conversation of protest, which was immigration.
Chief, were you able to talk to the secretary at all about the impact that the administration's statements have made on what's going on down there?
We did mention briefly the importance of our words and our conversations and our statements. And, you know, we're all adults. We all are responsible for what we say and how we say it. It was not good use of our time to determine whether or not the perceptions are accurate. I didn't want to spend a lot of time trying to dive into those kind of specifics. We did speak holistically about the need for a change in the environment and a change in behavior down there, and I'm in agreement with that. And so, you know, I would appreciate the fact that over the last couple of days, I've been speaking regularly with Casey Cotting from the state police, Superintendent Cotting, and other law enforcement leaders trying to think about what that might look like. What could that mean in terms of not only a law enforcement role, but really a community role, as well as a political role, what that could be.
Captain Cook, KGW, did anything you shared with Secretary Noem today seem to open her eyes to, you know, what's happening on the ground now versus maybe the rhetorical descriptions that have been going around in Washington? Did she seem to find new perceptions of the city versus what she may have had leading onto her landing today?
Yeah, I can't comment on, you know, what that may have gone on and, you know, perception-wise. This was really a operational focus and operational conversation about the safety for her employees, and then also for the role of the police bureau and the state and the region in this area. So I can't really speak to that.
So you mentioned that, you know, you have conversations about what things might look like and how change might be sparked to maybe bring people together, especially down at the South Waterfront where things have been contentious over the last few days at least, and over the summer. What does that look like? What are some things that you guys are looking into to really help maybe calm people down and get things back on track?
Yeah, I mean, it really varies. There's my hope would be that we could have a community-led conversation about how we want to continue to express our First Amendment rights. And we have a model in that. We have a model in that for the last several months where we have seen demonstrations numbering in the tens of thousands, and we have not had nearly the police presence that we've had down there. So I would really love to see a community-led conversation around safety and public order. This will also require a renewed commitment by our electeds to set a tone and an expectation around that. And then I would anticipate us to continue to focus on ways to limit the violence and vandalism. And the degree of violence that we've seen just in the last, few days, as I said, once again, within the crowd, I think that we have to be looking carefully about, how can we create space in that very confined area so that we aren't seeing those responses. All of that's on the table.
Victor Zaim, and then we'll call.
I've got two questions. First, did both of you talk about any specifics regarding troop deployment? Did she seem interested in that still after visiting and having those conversations with you? And then can you dive a little bit more into that cooperation with Tri-County and OSP and their role down there?
Yeah, I did not discuss troop deployments. That, is part of an ongoing litigation matter, so that's not something that was discussed. We talked about, when I talk about a tri-county or a regional approach, there's a variety of ways that could look. State police historically has always been a great partner. They were obviously involved in 2020 and helping us navigate some of that. And of course, our relationship with Multnomah County agencies. So that's really a starting point. But what we're experiencing even today, and support from outside agencies, is they're providing additional cars to provide cover and support to Portland police officers. So we have Portland police officers that are assigned to these details. We still need Portland police officers that can respond to calls for service. And so outside agencies are providing cover for cars that need that support. So I think, ongoing discussions about that as a region, that if we have to continue to put extra resources in that area. Remember, there's a lot going on in the city today, though. Today's a little bit of a unique day with the anniversary in Israel as well. We've had 2 or 3 other public order events occurring along with the visit. So I would say today is, sort of top of the thermometer as far as resource intensive. My hope is that after the Secretary's visit's over, that we will have a little bit of a roadmap and an ability, both knowing what her expectations are, the mayor and the governor have a conversation with the superintendent, and then be able to put some plans in action.
Yeah, Chief, this is more of a logistical question. You had talked about the Secretary's visit, and the area in the South Waterfront is still cordoning off the vehicle and pedestrian traffic. Is the Secretary expected to return tonight, or reporters on the ground have heard that from officers on the scene? And how long do you expect the Bureau to keep that area cordoned off?
All of that's operational, Zaim. I can't comment on it. I'm not aware of the Secretary's intent in that regard, but I certainly can't comment on it, and she can change that at a moment's notice. In regards to the area, I know that we'll have that area secured for the next several hours, and at some point we will evaluate once again the activity level, our resource availability, et cetera, et cetera.
Last question, Catherine.
Yeah, so Chief, the Portland Police Bureau has been historically kind of hands-off on its approach when it comes to policing, specifically around the ICE facility. What part of PPD's involvement, in what's happening on the South Waterfront will change now after your meeting with the Secretary?
Yeah, well, I'd like to correct. I don't believe we've been hands-off necessarily. We've made almost 40 arrests since June, so we have been present. We have been engaged. I think a couple of I would anticipate is continued outreach as we've been doing. I would like to see the potential of increased amount of police presence. We've been trying to coordinate that with the federal response because we have differing policies and differing expectations around procedures, so we have to work more closely with them, and I have had those conversations as a result of that today. And then I think we have to look at the space itself and the uniqueness of that location, and really prioritize safety first, and then from there look at all of the other components, whether it be free speech, whether it be ingress and egress from the facility, whether it be traffic patterns or whatever it might be. We're going to be driven by a key desire and value that we have a responsibility to provide that safety for everyone in South Waterfront.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you very much.
I just want to wrap by saying there's been some questions we've gotten about the motorcade support, and what we have done today and what we will do through the duration of her stay here is provide support that's consistent with any dignitary visiting our city. In no way, shape, or form has PPB been involved in any of her transportation through immigration enforcement, which is on social media that she is engaged in some of that, and PPB was not involved, and that's important for everyone to know. Thank you. We can't say. Thank you.